Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing? It's Professional here. So today I got a special playthrough for you guys. We got the first part of Brothers in Arms Road to Hill 30. This was a series that a lot of people have requested on the channel. And for people wondering, I have never played the Brothers in Arms games before. I've heard of these games, I know that they're World War II games, but I've never actually played these games. But from what I know about these games, I know that these games are different than a lot of other games where you are typically a one-man army. In these games, you command a squad, so it is a first-person shooter, but you have to rely on your squad and give them orders a lot of times to get through missions. I know there's 3 games: Brothers in Arms, Road to Hill 30, Brothers in Arms, Hell's Highway, and then there's also one other one. I'll play the other ones in the future, but this is the one that people recommended that I start on. And also today is the 81st anniversary of the Normandy landings, D-Day, June 6th, 1944. 81st anniversary today, and so this series is also dedicated to the veterans who helped to liberate Western Europe from the Nazis. This was a very dark time, and we had a lot of heroes that went through some really horrible things in order to liberate the world from the Nazis. But I hope that you guys enjoy this playthrough. This is dedicated to the soldiers who fought then, and I hope that you guys like the cosplay for this. But in this game, I'm pretty sure you play as the Airborne. That's what I think you play as. But anyways, let's play through this. And you guys have told me these games focus a lot more on realism, and also that they are extremely dark. I know these games are very dark, way darker than the Medal of Honor games, a lot more brutal. Brothers in Arms. 8 days after the drop into Normandy, Sergeant Matt Baker regains consciousness at Hill 30. A changed man, he's prepared to die. Okay, let's do it here. And so there is a mission that's going to go to D-Day, so June 13th and then D-Day. Okay, let's do it here. I'll try this on difficult. That's what I'll try it on.
My dad said something to me after the divorce. He said every soldier has 2 families, those you raise and those you raise hell with. I've spent 8 days here. 8 days commanding a squad I wasn't ready to lead. 8 days watching my men, my family, be killed. 8 days wishing it would stop.
Baker! You okay, Baker? Get coming! Shit! Fuck 6, can you hear me? Can you fucking hear me? Fuck 6, fuck 3, answer, damn it! Sergeant, can you hear me? We need armor now! Hello?
Oh, okay, this is the button too. Crap.
Get down! This is gonna be bad! You want me? Fucking take me! Take me! Baker!
Yeah, this is Airborne Troops. Oh, and that's the guy who died with the glasses right there. A lot of airborne troops, these guys landed behind enemy lines on D-Day. Extremely dangerous, dropping right into enemy lines where you're possibly surrounded. Very, very dangerous. That looks like Eisenhower. A medal has been rewarded. Okay. Rendezvous with Destiny, somewhere over Normandy, D-Day, June 6, 1944. So, the airborne did jump behind enemy lines on D-Day. And this is also the night, the morning night, right before the landings.
I never asked to be squad leader, but I had no choice. Now I've got 13 soldiers under my command. 13 men depending on me to make the right decisions and not get them killed. 13 families relying on me to bring their husbands and sons home. 13. 13 is not a lucky number.
Let me see if I can just turn on subtitles on this game. Here we go. Okay.
Up! Hook up! Check your equipment! Remember, this squad sticks together! Once you hit the ground, find Baker! Sound off! 13 okay! 12 okay! Get the hell out of here! We gotta jump, son! We wait for the green light! We wait any longer, there won't be a fucking green light! Baker! Stand in the door!
I never asked to be squad leader.
When American troops landed, they oftentimes used flashlights to signal each other, a few flashes to show that they were friendly. But squads oftentimes got separated. Also, one thing I noticed about this game is that, in this game, you don't actually see the crosshair unless you turn it on. That's what I've noticed. Also, those Germans that they were fighting at the start of the game, I think they were SS, because I'm pretty sure I saw them wearing the oak pattern, and typically the SS wore the oak pattern camouflage.
Baker! Where the hell's all your gear? Oh, shit. Take my 45 and shoot anything that's wearing gray.
Yeah, and about this, what I was gonna say, a lot of soldiers would lose their gear when they're parachuting. This is actually true. F to reload. Okay.
Um den brauchen wir uns, glaube ich, keine Sorgen mehr zu machen.
Ob da noch mehr sind?
Get him now!
Could someone translate that in the comments, what they were saying, by the way?
There's a couple of houses here. I'm gonna try and figure out where the hell we are.
And, this right
I don't know
here...
where the hell we are, but I sure as shit don't want to stay here with all these crowds about.
This right here is something that actually did happen. It was actually very common, and this is a paratrooper's, one of a paratrooper's worst nightmares, is actually getting trapped in a tree like this. But there are paratroopers that got caught in much higher trees like this, where they could not cut their parachute, because if they actually cut their parachute, they would fall and they'd break their legs. And so they were stuck in their trees, and they were hoping that their squad mates would find them. And oftentimes when the Germans, if they caught somebody, a paratrooper, stuck in a tree, they would execute them like this. So this is stuff that happened. It was one of the worst things that could happen to you if you get stuck in a tree. It's very, very bad. And also, if anybody has ever played Medal of Honor Frontline, in Medal of Honor Frontline, there's actually a scene where a paratrooper actually gets caught in the tree, and he's waiting for Patterson to cut him down, but before Patterson can actually get to him, that the Nazis get to him first and just shoot him. And also is I believe that this actually does count as a war crime, because if the soldier is incapacitated, if the soldier is stuck in a tree, is not able to actually fire a weapon, is just immovable in the tree, they're not a threat, it is actually, I'm pretty sure it is considered a war crime to shoot at them.
I'll cross first. Cover me. Flash! Thunder! Who's there?
Oh shit! Mac and Baker! I thought I was lost.
Quiet. Keep your voice down or the whole goddamn German army will show up. There'll be plenty of time to reminisce later.
Anybody know where we are?
No idea.
I'll find out. Stay put. Hello, je suis American.
That means I'm an American.
Americans. What town is this? Any of y'all know French? I can't understand a goddamn word she's jabbering.
I speak a bit, sir.
Then get your ass over here, son.
Pouvez-vous nous dire où nous sommes? She says we're just northeast of St. Mary-Église.
Damn it! Well, we're headed in the wrong direction. I'm gonna see if I can gather some more guys. Y'all head that way, through the gate, and link up with anyone else you find as you head east. Stay alive. That's an order.
One thing I will say also about this game, what I already love about this game, is I love that the characters are speaking their native languages. That's what I love about this game. You heard the German soldiers actually speaking German instead of speaking, German with English with a German accent, and the French civilians were actually speaking French. And a lot of World War II games, you don't see civilians. A lot of World War II games, you never see civilians. There is actually very few World War II games that I can think of where you see civilians. There are a few, but most World War II games, you do not see civilians, and a lot of civilians would be caught in the crossfires during the liberation of France. But if anybody speaks French, if you could also translate that in the comments, what the French civilians were saying, I would really appreciate that. And also, the reason I think that it's not translated into English is because you're an American soldier, and the chances of you probably understanding what they were saying would be very little. There were soldiers that did speak other languages, obviously, but most soldiers would not have spoken French or German, and so I guess they're probably trying to put you in that perspective where you don't understand exactly what they're saying there. But also, here's the thing is Europe back then is not like Europe today, where in Europe today, like countries like France, Germany, for example, it's like, 40, 50%, 60% of the population speaks English. So more than half of the people speak English. I think in some parts of countries you have like 70% of people that speak English. But back then, the majority of Europeans did not know how to speak English. So a lot of people in France did not know how to speak English. In Band of Brothers, in the TV show Band of Brothers, there's actually a scene where they're liberating like a town in I think it's the Netherlands. And they have like a little parade as they're liberating this town in the Netherlands. And the Dutch actors that are actually in that scene, the Dutch actors in real life actually know how to speak English fluently. But they were actually told in the TV show to speak broken English. So like, English like somebody's learning English, like, making grammar mistakes. And the reason that they were told to do that way is because it would be unrealistic for like Dutch civilians back then to understand, perfect English. So they understand some English. But yeah, there was a lot of, back then, a lot of people in Europe did not know how to speak English.
You really start to notice the quirks a person has when you think he might be dead in a week. I remember the first time I saw Leggett. It was in the breakfast tent. He was cutting a hard-boiled egg into small pieces with a knife, like ham. It occurred to me at this point I'd never in my 23 years of existence seen a man cut an egg into slices like that. I don't know why I remember that.
So notice he said 23. He's a sergeant and he's 23, and that's the thing is...
There's an AA gun over there. We have to take it out.
A lot of these guys were very young. These guys were, people that were in their 20s, 30s, and also a lot of them were, 18, 19. Sometimes you had soldiers that were even younger than that, 17, and the government back then did not even really check a lot of times how old somebody was. So if somebody was like 17, they said they were 18, they oftentimes took that. Also, here's another thing I'll say to you. If you look at pictures of World War II soldiers, like American soldiers specifically, like back then, you'll notice something. People that are in their early 20s, but they actually look like they're in their 30s. So like, for example, in like Band of Brothers, when you watch that TV show, a lot of the characters in real life were like in their 20s, but a lot of the actors were in their 30s when they were recording those that show. But the reason that soldiers actually looked older back then is actually for a reason. The reason is because mostly everyone back then smoked cigarettes. So most people back then smoked cigarettes. If you were an American soldier, it was like more than 50% of the time you would be a smoker. So a lot of people smoked cigarettes and a lot of people drank more. They drank more and they smoked cigarettes more than they do today. And so because of that, people aged faster. You smoke and you drink a lot, you age faster. And especially with war, well, going through like war and stuff like this, there's a reason that people, when they go through war, they look older, because, they're smoking and they're drinking in order to cope with the horrible things that they're going through, to relieve their stress. So that's basically, if you ever look at pictures of World War II soldiers, that's the reason. A lot of people are always confused why they look so much older even though they're in their 20s. It's because the stress is taking a toll on them. It's also causing them to age a bit, and also the smoking and the drinking.
Pay for that? You just broke her damn gate.
Like it? Shove a sock in it.
I do like it you have name tags over the allies, because Easier for me to remember their names. Sergeant Hassey, okay. Okay, you are now in a situational awareness view. Press space to continue, okay. While in this mode, the game is paused, allowing you time to examine the battlefield objectives and known combat units. Press space to continue. Right now, you are looking at your current position. Press A, D, W, S to rotate around what you are looking at. Press middle mouse to zoom and unzoom your view. In addition to your current position, you can examine other battlefield elements using the markers below. Space. Markers represent objectives, waypoints, enemy units, and allies. Press right to advance and press left to regress through known battlefield markers. Notice that some markers display additional information to the right of the screen. Use situational awareness view to help make tactical decisions to locate your objectives. Sergeant Hassey is preparing to engage the German units directly in front of the position. This position. Because of the German units are behind cover, it will be very difficult for your squad to actively kill the enemy from this location. Likewise, as long as you are behind cover, it will be very difficult for enemies to kill you. To defeat this enemy, Sergeant Hassey will move to a new firing position, where the Germans are not protected by any type of cover. This type of maneuver is called flanking. Yup, perfect. Perfect terminology. They got it right there. That is what flanking is when you get on the side of the enemy. You hit them from the side. You gotta go around them. Once Sergeant Hassey reaches the location, he will have a clear shot at the enemy units, allowing him to easily pick them off. While Sergeant Hassey is moving, you and Leggett need to provide suppressing fire on the enemy. Okay, so a distraction while the Sergeant flanks. With the enemy suppressed, suppression is, and here's the thing about suppression in the military. Suppression is not always meant to kill the enemy. Suppression can kill the enemy, sure, but the purpose of suppression is to suppress the enemy. Because when the enemy is behind cover and you have a constant, barrage of fire going on them, it's very difficult for them to get out of cover. It's very difficult for them to move. So they're basically going to stay in that position until you stop firing or they think they have a clear opening to get out of there. And so that's what the purpose of suppressive fire is. It is to keep the enemy pinned down, to keep the enemy from moving. And then a flank will be perfect because a flank, you get the enemy suppressed, they're not moving. Flank, you're going to get on the side of them. With the enemy suppressed, they will spend more time behind cover and less time firing. This will provide Sergeant Hassey with an opportunity to move without getting hit by enemy fire. The suppression indicator over the enemy is used to show the target's suppression level. Red means unsuppressed and gray means suppressed. Okay. Press V at any time to switch to and from situational awareness view. Press V to return to the game. Okay.
Targets! Baker, get down. Stand by the fire. Don't.
Okay. .709 Infantry Division. Okay, so and they have real life unit names too. I gotta look up if this is a real if this was a real German unit in Normandy or in France. Struppen, 3rd Battalion, 502nd. Okay. Sergeant Matt Baker. Okay, max location.
Fire till I do. I need fire on those Krauts! Krauts!
Sarge, get down!
You stay target supply!
Just keep shooting. Yeah, you can see suppress them. Okay, this is.
Sarge, get down!
Reloading!
More crowds over there! Baker, we gotta get around him!
Follow Leggett down the wall and flank the enemy. Okay. Can't do anything at this range with this.
Got her pinned!
And my teammates are also keeping them suppressed. Okay.
I don't see any more.
Wait, I gotta test something right now. Huh. Okay. Curious on that. There, I got the German Kar 98 rifle.
Maybe there's still some alive. What do we do?
There's nothing we can do.
But Sarge!
Keep moving, Leggett.
Wonder how I switch weapons. I was just checking if the slide was working on the 1911.
We got crowds!
More crowds!
Okay, let's see what we're doing here. Okay, let's see what we're dealing with here. Okay, this is perfect for a flank.
Fire! Here we go! Baker, get down!
Another down! I think we got them all.
Also, one thing I will tell you here also, one thing that I do like about this game already is I love the iron sights, especially on both the M1 Garand and the Kar 98, because if you notice, the iron sights, it's a lot harder to look through the iron sights in this game than it is in other games. Like, in other games, like, you will have, like, a huge chunk of your screen, you'll have, like, this big circle for the ring sights, but in real life, iron sights are actually a lot more difficult to look down in real life, and you get distracted by a lot of other things than in video games. And also, I own a Kar 98, and I also own an M1 Garand, and I fired both of them, and especially the M1 Garand. One thing I don't like about the M1 Garand in video games, the M1 Garand, you have this really big circle for the ring sights that you see a lot of times. In real life, it's actually a lot harder to actually look through the iron sights than it is in video games. So, I already like the way the sights look in this game.
There's an AA gun over there. We have to take it out.
Let's see what we're dealing with. Oh, nothing. Don't see the enemies. Okay. Also, the Germans had the best anti-air of the war, the flak cannons, but that's not a flak gun. Don't fire till I do. Okay. Got two of them, okay. Also,
Plant the satchel charge on that gun.
Also, another thing is, a little bit accurate here also, most German soldiers would be carrying the Carabiner 98K. They would not be carrying, like, the MP40 or, like, the STG 44, that you would like, or the Gewehr 43 that you would see in a lot of other games. These were guns that were also issued, but just the regular standard German soldier had carried a Kar 98. That was just their default weapon. Now, who got an MP40? Two types of soldiers got MP40s in the German army. Squad leaders. So squad leaders typically carried MP40s, and then you also had stormtroopers, assault troopers, that carried MP40s. But the regular soldier that would, carry a Kar 98. Who would get an STG-44? Typically more elite soldiers. So typically more elite units. A lot of times the SS. The SS were the guys that would carry the STG-44. As for the Gewehr 43, maybe by chance a regular soldier could get it if there was one that was available, or it might be given to one soldier in their unit that was like the best shot.
Reloading! Firing! Here we go! Covering fire! Another down!
Also, another thing. Notice how when you're aiming down the sights, the gun is moving a little bit. You see that right there? That's also more realistic. So yeah, you guys were right when you told me this game focuses a lot more on realism. Because I really hate games where when you hold down, you aim down the sights, and the gun is like completely accurate, like does not move at all, like not even a tiny bit. Wonder if crouching will make it aim a little better. Can you go prone in this game? I don't know if you can go prone, but yeah, that's guns will move a lot. Yeah, you know to steady out and hold the rifle good, but even really good marksmen, the rifle is gonna move a tiny bit also.
Hit the gun!
Crap.
Well, no shit!
Killed one!
Okay, let's see what we're dealing with here. AA over there. One right here. Okay, this guy's gotta go first. This guy that's right next to us.
Disable that gun with some TNT, so we can get the hell out of here. Can't stop to rest now. The 4ID is coming up through Utah Beach. And there are Germans all over that area. Let's move!
New extra content has been unlocked. Okay. So I think we'll probably wrap it up here, guys. I guess that was the end of the mission there, chapter complete. I think this will probably be a good place to stop. And I'll talk a lot more history and a lot more of the weapons and the battles as we go up through there. They talked about Utah Beach later on. That was another landing. But thank you guys for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you did, do drop a like. Let me know what you think down below of this game. And I will see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, guys.